Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Of Benedict College hoisted the trophy to win the 2021-22 SIAC Women's Basketball Championship. Today, the journey begins to determine who will take the title for 2022-23 season. There are 12 usual contenders for the title, with 2 newcomers to chase the elusive SIAC crown. And the one thing that's for certain this year, the battle for the SIAC Women's Championship promises to be an exciting ride. Glad you could join us for the Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Charles Ward here. I will serve as your host today. An exciting lineup of conversations with coaches and players to get you caught up to begin the 22-23 SIAC Women's Basketball season. We're live on Facebook from the SIAC, so glad to all the folks out there that are watching and listening to today's presentation. And joining me now is the commissioner of the SIAC, Anthony Holloman, to extend words of greeting. Commissioner.
Good morning and welcome to the 2022 Cricket Wireless Women's Basketball Media Day. I'm Anthony Holloman and I'm excited to have the opportunity to serve as the 11th commissioner of the SIAC. I want to thank Gregory Moore for his 13 plus years of transformative leadership. The SIAC is in a great place with the opportunity to challenge for national championships in every sport. And today, I would like to thank Roy Irvins for Black College Sports Network and Charles Ward, who's hosting this media day, for their work with the SIAC. I also want to recognize the top staff at the SIAC, Ms. Tyler Williams, Leighton Batiste, Danielle Mathis, Jim Hall, and Matthew Dorelis. These will be the individuals to work to make your season great. And so today, I want to welcome all of the teams. We have 14 teams, 7 in the East and 7 in the West that will be competing for championships. Benedict College, our defending champion, and Savannah State, the runner-up, both from the Eastern Division. We're excited for our student athletes. I want to challenge all of our student athletes to be their very best on and off the courts. Academics come first. We want to graduate our student athletes and compete for championships. And so I say today, Charles, let's have a great day and go basketball. Let's get basketball started.
And we are set to get things started. Thank you, Commissioner, for those words. And again, thank you all the coaches and student athletes that are out there joining us this morning as well. As we start to take a look at the season that's just about to start, let's reflect a little bit before the season, and that'll give us a chance to take a look at superlatives in terms of the players that have been deemed superlative players as we start this campaign. And both of these players from the women's side come from Tuskegee University, an outstanding duo of players for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Ashada Jackson, she is the preseason player of the year, averaged 19.5 points per ball game, shot over 50% from the floor and 10.1 rebounds per outing for Ashila. Preseason rankings as well for the SIAC. Take a look at the Eastern Division, and we'll pick up those preseason honors after we take a look at the division rankings first. Out of the East, it'll be the defending champs, the Lady Tigers of Benedict, coming in ranked number 1. The Tigers of Savannah State, they will be at number 2. At number 3, it'll be the Golden Rams of Albany State. The Lady Panthers of Clark Atlanta coming in at number 5. It's the Tigers of Edward Waters coming in at number 5. And then in the 6th spot, it'll be the Lady Wildcats of Fort Valley at 6. And then the Yellow Jackets of Allen in the East Division, rounding out the 7 for the East Division of the SIAC in the preseason rankings. From the West, it's the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with an outstanding season last year. They come in ranked number 1 in the West Division, followed by the Lady Bears of Miles College. They come in at number 2. Then it's the Lady Dragons of Lane College, ranked at number 3. In the 4th spot, it's the Thoroughbreds of Kentucky State, followed by the Lady Magicians of Lemoyne Owens College in the 5th position. Lady Marauders at Central State coming in at 6th. And it's the Lady Badgers of Spring Hill who round out the 7 in the Western Division of the SIAC. So those are the preseason rankings for the teams as we get set to start an exciting basketball season in the SIAC. Take a look now at the 1st and 2nd team preseason honors, of course, led by Charlotte Jackson from Tuskegee University. Bria Gibbs, the center from Savannah State, she is on that 1st team as well. Coriana Evans from Clark Atlanta, the junior from Griffin, Georgia, she's on that 1st team. Jatoria Willis, another Tuskegee player that's on that 1st team. And Kyla Simmons, the senior from Lane College, round out the 5 of the 1st team preseason all-conference for the SIAC. Great group of players in that 1st team. Same is true with the 2nd team preseason for the SIAC. LaQuasia Lampkin, the sophomore from Savannah State, 8.8 rebounds per ball game for her. She is on that 2nd team. Tori Myers, the senior from Fort Valley, joins that group as well with 15.5 points per ball game for her. Tashaya Bostic, the junior from Spring Hill, Bostic, with 12.9 points per ball game. And Diamond DJ Jones, the senior from Fort Valley, joins her teammate as a 2nd team all-conference player. And the 5th player on the 2nd team is Lori Thomas, the senior from Kentucky State. Lori with 12 points and 7 rebounds per outing for the Thoroughbreds. And there is your 2nd team preseason all-conference for the SIAC. Now back to the top with the superlatives. We started early in our broadcast with that, a little bit premature, but players still great nonetheless. Preseason player of the year, Ashyla Jackson from Tuskegee. Ashyla, 19.5 points per ball game, 10.1 rebounds per outing, shot 50% from the floor, and an impressive 76% free throw shooting for the preseason player of the year, Ashyla Jackson. The defensive player of the year, her teammate, Jatoria Willis. Willis, 14.9 points per ball game and 6.5 rebounds for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. So those are your two superlative players for the year. Preseason player of the year, Ashyla Jackson, and defensive player of the year, Jatoria Willis. So that's the way things look as it relates to preseason rankings, and the players to really keep an eye out as it relates to the superlatives coming into this season. But coming up, we're going to be talking to the coaches that'll give you an idea about the way things look for them coming into the season, and to talk to some student athletes who will have an impact on their program. We'll be back to get things started after this timeout. We'll start with the Golden Rams of Albany State after this.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information.
And we are back live for the Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Glad you could join us for our coverage. Getting set now to enter our conversations with each individual program, and probably no better place to start than with the program that has the longest serving women's basketball coach in the conference, the Golden Rams of Albany State, and head coach Robert Skinner. He's joined by Kyla Milner and Kashay Hankerson for the Golden Rams of Albany State. Coach, thanks so much for joining us at Media Day.
Thank you for having us here, John.
Let's dive right into it. Third in the East last year, pushed into the semifinals, finished with a 10-19 mark overall. Great play in the tournament to get to that semifinal matchup. Your thoughts coming into this season as to what lessons were learned from last year, and what expectations do you have from the two ladies that are there with you and the Golden Rams overall as we start to look at the season?
Our expectations are very high this year. We come into the season realizing that we fell a little short of the goal we had set for ourselves, but also realizing that it's not an impossibility to get back to where we were, if not further this year. So we feel very encouraged by this season. We are very encouraged by what we've seen thus far since practice has started. And most of all, we look forward to the competition that lies ahead.
As you get ready for this season, obviously the work in the off season is a big part of what happens in an upcoming season, referencing here primarily your ability to go out, maybe add some other elements to the Golden Ram program. When you went out with your recruiting for this year, were you looking for anything in particular in terms of a player or style of play that you felt like you might need for this season?
Oh, yes, we went out looking for a couple of things. First of all, we were looking for someone that could score points. We knew from our point totals from last year, we were not as comfortable offensively as we should have been. And we were looking for inside post presence also. So those were the two areas where we felt like we had to improve this year in order to be able to be a contender in the conference. Hopefully, we've been able to fill those shoes. But most of all, what I did want to see was that the people I had in the program putting in the time and the effort in the off season to get better.
Well, you have two players that are with you now this morning that are seniors and referencing putting in time and effort into the program, both of them, Kayla and Cachet, seniors. Okay, Cachet on the season led the team with 34 steals, and Kyla with just under 6 points per ball game. Both of you kind of stalwarts in this program, staples, if you will. Your thoughts about coming into your senior campaign for the Golden Rams of Albany State?
Oh, I feel great about coming to this year. I feel like our team is pretty much still the same. We have a couple new players. So I feel like our chemistry has grown over the year. So I feel pretty confident about this season.
For me, looking forward to this season. I do agree with Kayla when she says we've improved. I feel like a lot of our players have gotten better individually, and we've also gotten better as a team. And the chemistry is there. So we're excited for the season.
You both play for a program that has stellar accolades coming into it with 8 SIAC titles. Coach Skinner with 3 of those under whom you play. You got to the semifinals last year. What do you think the difference is going to be between breaking through the semifinals and winning the final this year?
This year, we actually know what it takes. So we've been here. We was there last year. So now this year, we know exactly what we need to do to overcome that hump this year. So I feel like we saw it last year. We learned from it last year. So now this year we have what it takes. And so we know what we need to work on. We know what exactly to do to overcome the hump this year. So
for me, I feel like us as a team coming in with a chip on our shoulder, knowing that we were in the semifinals and we lost. Even though going in as an underdog, we feel like we did have a chance to win. And there were things that we could have fixed that we didn't. Obviously, we couldn't do last year, but this year we're focusing more on that because we know exactly what we need to do in order for us to get back to that point and past that point.
And Coach, as you talk about the 2 players next to you, any other players that you want to highlight that will be instrumental in terms of the success of the Golden Rams this season?
I think each individual on our roster is going to contribute to our success. But we definitely rely on a team concept. Even though we have 2 of our seniors here with us today, they know how I feel about the team camaraderie. They know how I feel about team play. So I really believe that as individuals, everybody has to contribute, but as a team, we have to play together.
Head coach Robert Skinner, Kayla Milner, and Cachet Hankerson, members of the Golden Rams of Albany State, getting set for the 2022-23 SIAC basketball season. Best of luck, and we'll see you in the championship ball game.
Thank you.
Take a break here. It's one of the newest members of the SIAC, the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. We're talking to their head coach and a couple of their players after the quick timeout.
Information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
We are back live with the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Glad you could join us for our live coverage on Facebook. Also can tune in to BSCSN platforms to get this feed as well. Right now, getting set to have a conversation with one of the newest members of the SIAC, the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. Their second stint with the SIAC. From 1948 to 69, they were members of the conference and have joined us back now as a full-throated member of the SIAC. And joining us on screen is second-year head coach Cardrenia Nolan, one of the student athletes, as well as Brooke Kyle, representing the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. And thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing just fine. Glad that you all are here and ready to share with us what one of the newest members of the SIAC will bring and the levels of excitement that you all have for coming back to the conference. Coach, we'll start with you. Second stint for the program back in the SIAC. What's that momentum been like, knowing that this is something that's been in the works for a couple of years and now it's finally here, that the Yellow Jackets are back with the SIAC and facing basketball just ahead?
We're excited for the opportunity. You know, we got a first little taste at it in 2021 when we, played for, I think, about 12 games, and then we had a full season last year, and now we kind of know what to expect. So we're excited. We're ready to go.
And Cardrenia and Brooke, I know this is a new experience for the both of you in terms of conference play. NAIA schedule from a year ago in the Appalachian State Athletic Conference. Let's talk about your excitement of joining the SIAC and what your expectations are in terms of perhaps a different level of play than the NAIA level brings.
Hi, my name is Cardrenia, and I'm excited as well to get into the SIAC. I know it's a lot of competitive action, but I know with our hard work, we can be able to keep up, and we're just ready for tip-off.
And just to piggyback off them, especially the team that we have, I'm very excited to get ready to play and see every team in the conference, but especially our team.
And Coach, as we talk about the season in front of us, what's been your assessment in terms of what do you think it's going to take for your program to be successful as one of the newest members of the SIAC?
Well, one of the things we've worked on is definitely make sure we know what we're up against. First time we really didn't know. We were, trying to get in the right recruits to be able to move forward with the Division II transition. So now we have a lot more athleticism on our team, and we're just, like I said, we're just excited about what's ahead and not necessarily focus on everybody else, but what we're bringing to the table this year.
And if you had to put a tab on the style that you'd like to see the Yellow Jackets play this year, I know it depends a lot on the personnel that you have, but coming into the season, how would you like to see the element of play itself out for the Yellow Jackets on the floor?
So we've been able to move the tempo a little bit. We're going to play a lot faster than we have before. We got some shooters on each wing, so looking for some high-level basketball this season.
And Kadrina and Brooke, you're both seniors and a big part of the dynamic for the Yellow Jackets coming into the year. What would you like to see personally in terms of perhaps goals you have for yourself and obviously for the team as it relates to a strong finish?
Strong finish with competing in the conference tournament for sure, being disciplined to get us there, and not backing down by any means with any team, but all gas, no brakes, basically, and playing basketball at a high competitive level.
I would just love to see us compete for a conference championship, if anything. Just being able to get out there. I would love to see my teammates go hard, and whoever we put ourselves against, we just go hard, no matter who it is, to just be able to get the win, no matter who's put in front of us.
Yeah, the off season really kind of lays the tempo for what may happen during the course of the year. How did the two of you kind of get prepared for this season in terms of your work in the off season?
Off season will lead us to preseason and season. So we gotta take off season serious. So the conditioning, the training, the right attitude, all that will lead us to now, which we're in season now. So it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, off season is just as important as the regular season. So you have to be disciplined all throughout the year, especially being an athlete. So our season, preseason, postseason, it's all the same. So just keep going.
And coach, it's a grind for you as well as the players. And how do you prepare yourself for what is going to be a long season ahead in terms of your off-season prep to have that mental focus that you need coaching this team in this first year in the SIAC?
Well, like I said, we're excited about the personnel that we have this year. So I have to kind of tone them down, make sure we understand that we're just going to focus at one game at a time.
Well, you're about to get set with one game at a time as the season gets set to unfold for the Yellow Jackets of Allen University, back in the SIAC for a second time and vying for the SIAC championship. Coach Tolan, Kadrina, Brooke, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck this basketball season.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yellow Jackets of Allen University will take a break here and get set to meet the defending SIAC champs, the Tigers of Benedict College, after this timeout.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
And we are back live with the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Glad you could join us for our coverage on Facebook. We turn our attention now to the defending SIAC champions, the Tigers of Benedict College. Head coach James Rice in his 11th campaign. Jasmine Golson, and Mahogany Randall, the trio from Benedict who join us this morning. Coach and student athletes, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Defending champs, chance for a possible three-peat for the Tigers of Benedict College. That means that in addition to the Benedict logo that you have on the front of your polo there, Coach, there's a big target on the back of that shirt as well with everybody in the SIAC. Let's talk about that. I know you're used to that because it's almost a yearly thing now that Benedict is ranked there near the top and contending for the SIAC title. You're coming into this year with a chance to do the rare three-peat. Talk about your expectations or your thoughts coming into this campaign.
Well, expectations are the same. Our goals are the same. Goals are to win the championship, really try to get out the region. But I'm really excited about this year and our new team that we have this year and the challenges that's going to lie before us.
You have two student athletes there with you. You can introduce both of them, and if you have any comments about both, we would love to hear them.
We got Jazz Golson. You want me to tell you a little bit about it?
I'd like to. I'm sure everybody would like to hear.
But she's a terrific rebounder, nice slasher, get to the basket left or right. We expect for her to play down in the post for us this year. I think she's ready for the challenges. But then we got Mahogany Randall, another low post player for us. We're going to try a little bit at the 4. Let's try to stretch them out. We're going to try to play kind of fast. But Mahogany's coming back from an injury last year. We lost her early last year to an Achilles tear. And it kind of set us back a little bit last year, but she's back this year. And hopefully she can stay healthy.
Well, why don't we jump into follow up on with Mahogany's situation? Glad that you're back and with the Tigers, the start of this campaign, and wishing the best of luck as it relates to your health. But having to miss most of last year, give us your thoughts coming into this year's campaign as you come off the injury and get set for a year to contend or to repeat as champions.
Coming off the injury it's gonna be hard, but I know I can do it with a lot of hard work and my coaches and Jazz behind me and my teammates. So this year is gonna be a breakout season for all of us.
And Jasmine, you're coming into this campaign again. Everybody looking at a chance to dethrone the Tigers of Benedict College. Your thoughts about that type pressure coming into the season, or does it impact you at all in terms of your approach to this year?
I feel like it's really the same thing every year, so we expect a lot out of us. We always, like with Benedict, we don't really recruit, like we work with what we have. So that's what sets us apart from a lot of other teams in the conference. So we expect the same thing every year.
And Coach, 4 SIAC titles under your belt, 7 overall for the Benedict Tigers program. Last year, won the title, 23-8 overall, 12-13, had a bump in the first round of the NC2A playoffs. What do you think the difference is for the Benedict Tigers program to go not only win the championship in the conference, but to go a little bit farther into NC2A play?
I think it's the level of play. Your preparation, get ready for the season. The entire season starts preseason, but yet it starts during the summertime when the young ladies go, back home. And what do they do during the summer? But during the course of the regular season, every game is preparing you for the regions, and that's one of our goals, is trying to get past the regions. At the end of the day, we know we got a really tough conference, really good team, good head coaches, good players, and it's going to be challenging this year, especially with a young team that we got this year.
Well, one of the things as it relates to broadcasting and covering the Tigers of Benedict College is I know you keep the broadcasters on their toes. I've done a couple of your ball games and you just sub so many players in and out of that lineup, which has really led to the kind of success that you've had. Will we see that same style this year? You have so many moving parts out there. You did a wonderful job of coaching them, but it's a nightmare for a broadcaster to stay in touch, keep in touch with you. Will we see that same thing again this year?
Well, I ain't trying to give up too much, but yeah, you'll see that. You'll see that. You'll see a whole lot of that this year. We got a lot of young kids, and we just got to give everybody the opportunity to grow. And it's no better than you can grow through experience. So you got to get out there. You got to make your mistakes. You got to do some good things. You got to learn from it. And you got to continue to play. You got to learn and grow from it as a team. We'll get back to our winning ways.
Benedict Tigers coming in as a defending SIAC champs, chance for a three-peat in SIAC women's basketball. Coach James Rice, Jasmine Golson, Mahogany Randall. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you on the hard court.
Thank you.
Yeah, get that target off my back.
You put it there.
Thanks.
Coach Rice and Benedict, thanks so much. Take a break here. Come back. We'll talk to the Marauders of Central State, Catherine Parson, head coach, and the rest of our student athletes after the timeout.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
And we're back live with the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Glad you could join us on Facebook. As you can see on the screen, this is not Central State. This is the contingent from Clark Atlanta University. In the middle of the screen, head coach Tony Bailey. He's in his third year. He's joined by Coriana Evans, first team All-SIAC player, and Denise Stein joining Coach Bailey for the Lady Panthers of Clark Atlanta. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Coach, 6-19 last year. Lost in the first round of the tournament to the Thoroughbreds of Kentucky State. Your thoughts coming into this campaign based upon the finish last year and the off season? What's been the focus of preparation getting set for this year's campaign?
I think staying healthy. Last season we started the season with 4 injuries, 4 major season-ending injuries, and then you throw COVID in the mix. It was a up and down season. So for us coming from the summer, we've just tried to come in and be in shape and be healthy. That's the most important thing. So coming in healthy has been the biggest thing for us. And we hope to stay healthy with a week and a half left to a couple of days left to get ready for our first game.
I know you're excited about this started this campaign early on. I know it's difficult to tell because you just don't know what the opposition is going to be like, but what are you going to be looking for early in this season to kind of let you know that things from the past in terms of the things you just outlined and it's obstacles from a year ago? What are you going to be looking for early on in this season to let you know that things are headed in the direction that you'd like to see them?
Just starting the season with 15 players, that's the first part. But I don't think early on for most coaches, myself included, you worry so much about what everybody else is doing. You worry about yourself more than anything. So I'm concerned with us in terms of, defense and executing on offense, those things. So we've worked on that for the last month or so. And so it is my hope and my prayers that we come out ready and ready to execute and do those things. I know if we're healthy, we can do that. And so far we're healthy. We still have a few little nicks and bangs right now, like most teams are, but those are the things. I think just focusing on ourselves and being confident in what we do. I'm not for sure at the beginning of the season, you know a whole lot about everybody anyway. So you're just hoping your team is mentally prepared.
And the two women beside you, Coriana, first team all SIAC, averaged 14 plus points per ball game last year and over 8 rebounds per contest. I know, congratulations first for being named first team SIAC. Your thoughts coming into this year?
This year, I think it'll be very promising for us, even though we came off from a COVID year. New opportunities, new faces, and new potentials for everybody.
Yeah, you put up some great numbers from a year ago. What were you focusing on as an individual as you were prepping for the start of this year's campaign in the off season?
This year for me would be just staying disciplined, pretty much. Defense.
And you're joined by a fellow junior, Denise Stein. Denise, 8.9 points per ball game and over 5 rebounds per outing for you in last year's campaign. What's that weight been like in terms of once the season's over and then all the prep time getting you set for this year's campaign? As a student athlete, what's that wait period like? What's it for you as an individual?
It's more of just always staying ready, ready to make a statement in this conference. Stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Pretty much, focused on school and basketball, learning how to work with teammates. It's a whole bunch coming into the season, ready to make a statement in this conference. That's it.
Again, 6-19 last year. And Coach, your third year with Clark Atlanta in a program that has had success as it relates to women's basketball, 6 SIAC championships overall, the last one in 2018. I know that's always on the mind of coaches and players to come in and get that accolade of winning that SIAC crown, to notch it that way. What's it going to take to get to that point of winning it in 2022-23 for the Lady Panthers?
Yeah, you're correct. My first year here, 2018, we were able to, hold that trophy up, and we look forward to doing it again. I have no doubt our preparation is there. The things that we want to do in terms of what it takes to win a championship, we're doing that every day. As I said, for me, the most important thing is just trying to stay healthy. If we can stay healthy, I think we've got a chance to win this conference. We're going to surprise a lot of people this season. I thought last season we competed, but we were very shorthanded almost every game. Even the last game of the season, I think we played with 7 or 8 players. So for us, it's just the biggest part of the excitement for us is coming in healthy, getting a fresh start, putting that season behind us and moving forward and really, really pushing to win a SIAC championship and get to the NCAA and win a national championship.
Well, things just about getting set to unfold for the 2022-23 season for the Panthers of Clark Atlanta. Head coach Tony Bailey, Coriana Evans, and Denise Stein, part of the trio that will see if they can elevate the Lady Panthers to a championship title. Thanks so much to all of you, and best of luck in the campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lady Panthers of Clark Atlanta getting set for the 22-23 season. Take a break here. And one of our teams is back into the SR getting set for their first spot of SIAC play. It's the Tigers of Edward Waters. We'll have a conversation with a trio from Jacksonville, Florida after this timeout.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
And welcome back to the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Media Day. Turning our attention now to the Tigers of Edward Waters University, head coach Charmaine Wilson, joined by Molly Ragley and Imari Bell, student athletes from Edward Waters. And good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Coach and players in the SIAC, one of two teams that are back under the fold or starting in SIAC play, joining Allen University for first-year stint of competition. Let's talk about Edward Waters, formerly of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, coming now into the SIAC. What's that transition been like, knowing that now you're going into this Division II level with the SIAC, and your thoughts coming into this first campaign?
Well, the transition started last season. We had the opportunity to play 11 SIAC games. So we had a taste of some of the SIAC play. So I went out and recruited players that I think can play on that level. And transitioning now into this new season, I think we've got a veteran team to compete at a high level and be the element of surprise in the conference this season.
Well, you got two seniors with you here today in this press conference, Molly and Imari. You heard Coach talk about the fact that you played 11 ball games against SIAC competition a year ago. Did you think that experience in terms of playing those teams enabled you to become a little bit more comfortable heading into this season of full competition?
Yeah, for sure. I think us being able to play, the 11 games against the SIAC showed us what the transition is going to be like from NAIA to SIAC, more athletic, quicker, more aggressive. And it showed us also, that we can play on that level. We fit right in and we can make our mark.
I feel like we're coming in here to be an upset. A lot of people are underestimating us, and with us playing those games we did play, we competed well, but we just needed more pieces. And like Coach said, she recruited the pieces that we needed. So I feel like this season is going to be a very much underdog season for us.
So if you can hold on to the microphone for just a second, I really want to try to follow up with you just a little bit, both of you, with regard to having played and gotten that experience from a year ago. How did that shape your preparation for coming into this year?
I feel like it shaped our preparation by just knowing what we were up against. Some of the people came back to return. So us knowing the style they play and how they play, we'll be well ready for them when we go against them.
Yeah, I mean, like Imari said, we see what it takes now. We see, how we see where we need to step it up, where we need to make those improvements. And this offseason, we did just that. Our coaches prepared us. They got us where we need to be. And so now it's season time. Now we go from there and go off what they what they've instilled in us.
And Coach, it kind of the same question to you as well. A stellar coaching career that you've had.
Thank you.
And now you come into the SIAC with that brand coming into conference play for Edward Waters.
I would
Does
say, yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just coming from the GCAC, which is a very tough conference. You have the Xavier of New Orleans, the Dillards of New Orleans, and Talladega, of course. They were very strong opponents, I'm sorry. And with that being said, I always coach with a chip on my shoulder. So I'm taking that same attitude, that same coaching style, that same approach to the SIAC. I have something to prove. We have something to prove as a team. We're the underdogs, as Amari mentioned. So we want to be that element of surprise. We're going to bring it every night. Defense, 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 which creates offense. So I'm excited. I'm very optimistic. We got some pieces that we really, really, really like. And once we start gelling and getting a few games under our belt, we're going to be, again, the team to watch later in the season.
And you referenced the fact that you played the 11 games last year and you got a chance to see some of the teams in the SIAC up front and personal. How did that shape what your recruiting efforts were like in the offseason? You referenced pieces that you think you have. Can you talk a little bit more about what you were trying to fill in the offseason?
Okay, just to add to that, Tuskegee, tough. Veteran team, the top of the, I've run the 12 or the diamond. I saw her pieces. She had very defensive pieces in her, on her core team. So with that being said, I paid attention to Tuskegee. I paid attention to Benedict. Benedict had 10 very dominant players. I said, I have to get that. Veteran players who was in his program for a while. These two young ladies have been in my program for a while. So I went out and got recruited JUCO components, Division I transfer. So I needed to get what those SIAC teams had. Savannah State was another team I watched, and I watched every program pretty closely. So when I saw their rosters, I wanted to get the same competition. We're going to compete at that level.
Well, just about getting set to start this campaign. First year in the SIAC, the Tigers of Edward Waters, vying for the SIAC championship. Coach Wilson, Molly, Amari, thanks so much and best of luck in the campaign.
Thank you.
Edward Waters, as they get set for SIAC play, their first year in conference play. Take a break here. It'll be the Lady Wildcats of Fort Valley State University giving an outlook for the season when we come back after this break.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
We're back live at the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. We're live on SIAC Facebook and all of the platforms of the Black College Sports Network. So you can join us there, and glad to have you with us this morning. We turn our attention now to go down 75 south from Atlanta, down to Fort Valley, Georgia. For the Lady Wildcats of Fort Valley, the trio joining us this morning, Coach Doug Robertson, Tori Myers, and Diamond Jones for the Lady Wildcats of Fort Valley. Fort Valley 9-15 last year and lost in the quarterfinal ball game against Savannah State in SIAC action. And as we take a look at the trio on screen, we say welcome to Coach Doug Robertson. He's in his first year at Fort Valley. And Coach, welcome to the Valley, as they say in Fort Valley.
I appreciate being here at the Valley. I want to say thanks a lot.
Lady Wildcats, quarterfinal finish a season ago. This is your first campaign. What has that transition been like for you, Coach, coming into the Fort Valley program?
It's been we've been on go from the time I started, so it hasn't ended. So every day is a new day, a new experience, a different challenge. Trying to incorporate, maybe a little bit different style of play, emphasis more on defense, better execution, and just playing a lot better and smarter.
And you have two senior players with you, Tori, the graduate student, and then Diamond Jones, SIAC player, the senior. Question for the both of you. You have played under a different head coach for most of your collegiate play at Fort Valley. Now you come in under Coach Roberts. What's your expectations and what's your level of excitement as you talk about this campaign in front of you under new leadership of the Coach Robertson?
I'm excited about playing. I'm already seeing a lot of different things and learning a lot more than what I have been. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited as well. I feel like having Coach Douglas here has been a big help. It has made us more disciplined. We're learning how to adjust from last year, but last year's in the past. It's a new season. New coaching style, so I'm excited about that.
You referenced last year in that quarterfinal finish. I was pushed into the SIAC tournament to the quarterfinals. What was the big takeaway for the both of you as student athletes from last year headed into this campaign?
I would say the biggest takeaway is learning about what we need to do this year. It was a learning experience knowing the teams we played, what we saw, and now like going into the next season, what we need to do now in this season.
I feel as if, based off what Tori's saying, scouting the teams from last year, we're going to be coming in, scouting better. Yeah.
Coach, in a slightly different scenario for you coming into the campaign in your first year, I know you had a chance to look at some of the film from the team from a year ago and even perhaps further than that as it relates to Fort Valley play overall.
I'm just familiar with some of the programs here in the SIAC conference and some of the coaches. I know Coach Baker very well at Savannah State. And I know his coaching style doesn't necessarily mean it's going to equate to a victory, but for the most part, everything here in the SIAC is, a lot of it's built on quickness and speed. We just want to be a better decision-making team and execute a lot better than years past. Recruiting is going to be a big tool for us going forward. But at the end of the day, we still have to strap it up, play hard, and play together.
And you take over a team that you referenced maybe the last couple of years or so, which is difficult transitioning for the team. But you look back into the history of Fort Valley basketball and SIAC overall, 11 SIAC championships under one head coach. That's Lonnie Bartley. So yes. You come into a program that has historic value. I wonder, coming into that, how much of that you carry on your shoulders to know that, okay, you had some recent history that's not what you want it to be, but overall a program that is just steeped in history and a winning tradition at Fort Valley. How much of that do you carry into this season?
Oh, every day, you think about it, it's championships everywhere. And a lot of it is Lonnie Bartley. But it's the pressure of returning to those glory days. But, times have changed, rules have changed. So at the end of the day, the student athlete definitely drives the process. The coach is just going along for the ride and try to organize the talent and put them in better positions in order to be successful. So getting our young ladies to understand, what it really takes to be successful is the key. and getting ourselves in position to be successful and carrying ourselves in that manner. Getting to the attitude of policing yourself. It can't always come from me. You have to hold yourself accountable. And that's a big component. If you're able to police each other, it doesn't necessarily have to come from the coach all the time.
I know you have two leaders there with you, with Tori and Diamond, coming into this SIAC season. What else in terms of parts for the program that were you able to successfully recruit in the offseason to get you going for this year's campaign?
We had basically our roster that was here last year. We have a few walk-on student athletes that came into the program that expressed interest and actually are, decently talented. So I think we'll have some contributions from those athletes. And I'm looking forward to, what type of success we're going to have. I mean, the ultimate goal is to win a championship, and that's where we're going to continue to keep our mindset at. But at the end of the day, playing hard, playing together, those are the components that, breed, championship level basketball. And that's what we're going to, every day strive for.
And I put this final question to Tori and to Diamond. Seniors, a grad student and a senior on this team, obviously looking for leadership on this team. What do you think you bring to that component as an individual in terms of your leadership style or the ability to influence the other players? It may be what you do on the floor. It may be some other aspects of your personality that lead to this leadership element.
I feel like I bring, dedication, influence. I play so hopefully other teammates can see what they need to do as well on the court and off the court.
I feel as if I bring influence and also some of our teammates, feel as if they're not confident in themselves, but I try to influence them, saying that they have the best ability they can. Just always telling them every day, you can be whatever you want to be. You can play how you want to play. Just got to play your role and be the best you can.
Three of the people that will play a role for the Lady Wildcats of Fort Valley right there on your screen: Coach Robertson, Diamond Jones, and Tori Myers. They'll be joined by a cadre of other players to see if they can hoist that trophy down in Fort Valley. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, and best of luck on the basketball trail this season.
Hey, appreciate it.
Lady Wildcats of Fort Valley getting set for the 2022-23 campaign. We'll round out our coverage of the Eastern Division. When we come back, it'll be the Lady Tigers of Savannah State, a conversation with them, and then we'll jump over to the West Division. Stay with us. This is the 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day, sponsored by Cricket Wire.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and Instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
It's the 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day, sponsored by Cricket Wireless. We head down to Savannah now. The Tigers of Savannah State trio on the screen joining us. Head coach in the middle, Cedric Baker, longtime head coach of the Tigers of Savannah State, joined by Mia Goolsby, the senior, and Bria Gibbs, all-conference player, senior center for the Lady Tigers of Savannah. Thanks you all for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
27-3 last year, 14-1 in SIAC play, made it all the way to the finals last year, Coach. Congratulations on a big season last year, into the first round of the NC2A playoffs, headed into a new campaign this season. Your thoughts about your takeaways from last year and what impact or expectations that will have a place on your Tigers coming into this campaign?
Well, we're definitely excited, about the upcoming season, coming into this year's campaign. Of course, have some returning players, some experience. Practice has definitely, been a great, transition from last year to this year. We had a historic season, of course, but it's always, a plus when you have returning players, such as Bria Gibbs, who's here with me today, and also Mia Goolsby. So having that experience, I'm all about, you're going to play to the level of your preparation. So far our preparation has been, excellent, on the floor and off the court, leading, academics first, and of course playing time and practice in the games, it's a reward, for good academics. So I'm happy to have them back, eligible, ready to go and approach the new season. The experience of going to the NCAA tournament, that was a goal of ours. Came up short, in the SIAC championship to a very, good team in Benedict College, but we had a very impressive season. And of course, the committee thought, we deserved an opportunity to play in the tournament. And it was a great experience. We took a lot from that experience, and hopefully it will carry over into this season.
That's an excellent articulation, Coach, with regard to summarizing what happened last year and still being able to get that bid into the NC2A playoffs. Certainly a plus for the Lady Tigers of Savannah. Mia and Bria, we're talking about being able to get into the playoffs, but lingering is the fact that coming up a little bit short in that final ball game. Does that carry over in terms of your thoughts into this season? And if so, how does that play into your psyche as you get set for this new year, knowing that you were just a couple points shy of winning that championship a year ago?
I feel like this year we have a chip on our shoulder. Just based off of last year coming up short, I feel like this year we're gonna come stronger, come harder, and we're gonna finish.
I'd have to agree with my teammate here. It was definitely a blow for us to come up short with the championship, but it just only motivated me as well as my teammates to go even harder. Over the summer, we were working out, practice. We started early, we've been lifting, we were working out. Just like Coach said, practice to level our preparation. So, we've definitely been putting in the work because we want to walk away with that championship this year. And we just have to put it over time to make sure that it comes to fruition.
And Coach, you talk about this campaign. You got two of your stellar players there with you on screen this morning. And some of the other elements that are going to make Savannah State successful this year. You talk about some of the other personnel that may be impact players for you this campaign.
Yes, have some new returning players, of course, that would definitely be, an anchor on the defensive end for us. We have Taquasia Lampkin, who's second team, preseason SIAC. Also have returning is Amari Hurd, rangy, lengthy, forward, players for us. Last year, it was an up and down season for us, but she's had a great preseason, both in the classroom and on the court. So I'm excited about those two young ladies. We also have Nyla Allen, primary ball handler, young in the program as a freshman last year, but got some quality play. So we're definitely looking forward to her to take on more minutes and also be, one of our leaders on the perimeter and contribute as one of our primary ball handlers. And then also we have returning to the fold is Myasia Jones, transfer, from Townsend State. She played with me her freshman year. Wanted to continue to play Division I, transfer to Townsend State, but hey, Savannah was, home away from home for her. So, she's back with us, but it definitely helps to have experience on the defensive end. The game is very abstract. No situation is the same. So having experienced girls who have been, in these situations for 4 or 5 years, given the COVID year, I definitely feel good about us on the defensive end. We have to catch up offensively. We have some newcomers on the roster. We have to develop chemistry on and off the court. But I'm excited right now going into the first game with experience solid on the defensive end.
And you have two of your experienced players with you, with Mia and Bria. I want to just get your thoughts as players about the same question we put to a couple of other teams today on Media Day about your role as not only senior players, but how you can impact these younger players that Coach is just referencing and trying to build that chemistry for this team going into this campaign.
I feel like just being a leader, just itself on the court and off the court, sometimes we'll all come together, have team bonding because we do have several new people. So just really developing that chemistry on the court, off the court, and just trying to get a bond so we can all come together as a team.
I have to agree. Definitely being leaders, when we're learning plays, learning defensive systems, stuff like that, there's things that our teammates can't understand or don't get that the coach is saying. It's our job to be able to articulate what he's trying to say to them, making sure they understand, going over the plays, making sure everybody's on the same page, and also holding each other accountable for our shortcomings or our mistakes here and there, but also using that to encourage them as well. I know how it can be transferring in or coming into a new environment, especially a basketball program. And so just using my experience that I've had to help impact them, being there for them, anything that they need, being that leader, that teammate that people can count on.
Coach, I think I'm hearing it from the two players that are with you here today, but that's a grind, 30 ball games during the course of the campaign. How do you try to keep the team focused? Looks like you got a lot of help in those two in terms of directing things, but how do you try to keep focused enough to make sure that the team stays channeled?
Definitely our focus is just being consistent, how we go about our daily operations on a day-to-day basis. Of course, weightlifting, just keeping things, short and simple. That's my philosophy. If we're supposed to be there an hour, we're there an hour. So just basically staying organized on and off the floor. I think that helps keep them focused and also channel that energy in a positive manner. Of course, it's a long year. And we, of course, you encourage, spend time with your family, take advantage of your days off, your weekends off, because once we get into the season, it's definitely a grind. But we try to do things, every day during the week. We'll address, mental health. We'll address mental toughness. Everything we do is not on the court. What we do off the court matters as well. So we check in, mentally. Every day, take 2 minutes, what we've done good, what areas we need to improve. And communication is key. When you have communication, I think that definitely, carries over to a positive focus and positive energy and focus energy amongst the team.
Well, we certainly had a lot of positive focus last year, got all the way to the finals, runners up for the 2021-22 SIAC championship ball game, trying to take it one notch further this year for the Tigers of Savannah State. They'll be led by head coach Cedric Baker, and you will hear a lot from the floor from Mia Gooseby and Bria Gibbs as the Tigers of Savannah State get set for this year's campaign. Thanks so much to all of you for joining us this morning, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tigers of Savannah State, 27-3 a year ago. That rounds out our coverage for the Eastern Division of the SIAC. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk to the teams from the West, and we'll begin with the Marauders of Central State. That's on the Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day after this timeout.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
And we are back live with the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Glad you could join us for our continuing coverage. We turn our attention now to the Western Division of the conference, and we start our conversation with the West with the Marauders of Central State. And on screen in the middle is head coach Kathy Parsons, joined by Loren Teray and Ashante Miller, two standout players for the Marauders of Central State. Central State 5-19 a year ago. Coach Parson in her second year as the head coach of the Marauders of Central State. And Coach, as we talk about this upcoming season, let's get your thoughts about what you want the campaign to look like for Central State.
Well, we're really trying to create a brand. A year ago, I think we attempted to declare a brand, but I don't think my players were really fully bought into the concept of this brand, this new concept of play. And as a result, we struggled with it. I think the idea of being able to play 94 feet for 40 minutes is a new concept to them. And as a result, we did struggle with it. I think after a year, I definitely have more buy-in. I think the protocol for COVID definitely didn't help me in my inaugural season. But I do think now that we've had this off-season, postseason, for them to really learn who I am, for me to learn who they are, has definitely been productive. And in this preseason, we've definitely seen an increase of a number of players. The two young women who are with me today are definitely leaders when it comes to having that dog in them, to be able to go out there and demonstrate night in and night out what it means to stay in front of your defender, step slide with them, create havoc defensively so that we can produce on the offensive end. I think the other side of that is the up-tempo style of play that we want to play and employ. We have to get buy-in there because I want you to do it in a certain way. So these young women definitely have been under the scrutiny of my tutelage, and I believe now we're beginning to glow and show some signs of some shine. And I think it's going to be productive this year in a very competitive SIAC conference.
Well, you've just shown why a head coach has to be a marketeer as well in terms of articulating about this brand. And I want to go just a little bit further in that as it relates to how you implement that brand. I heard you talk about some of the results of the brand being bought into, but it's a difficult challenge for a coach and anyone else to sell something into for last year was a new set of players for you and a new program overall. Talk a little bit about what those challenges were and how you were able to overcome those and really get things going the way that you think they're headed now.
You know, we can go back to an old adage, time cures all things. It takes time. It takes building relationships with young women. It takes helping them to understand that you're only here for their good. You're not here to destroy them. So any change that I make is not to hurt you. It's only to help us. I think all of that is a part of what we're going through. And I think they'll, especially when they speak, they'll let you know how much they've grown in their rapport and relationship to understand when I speak, what am I really saying? You know, we're joking about it a little bit ago. It's as if I were speaking a different language. You know, I'm speaking English, but it sounds like wah, 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 wah. You know, so how do you make sense of that? You know, and that was part of what we went through all year. So imagine, I tease them now of the torment that they put me through because they didn't have an ear to hear. Now they have an ear. So now we're able to do amazing things at times. We had an inter-squad scrimmage, man. We can put points on the board. If we can keep our hands off people, we can play some defense. So it's like putting those two concepts together and allow that thing to come to fruition to something that you already declare is going to be amazing, but you still got to walk it out because daily people are coming after you, as you've heard from so candidly with so many other teams. Everybody's coming after this thing.
Well, you have Lauren and Ashante right there with you.
Yes.
You made the sales pitch. Now we're going to see, did you all two buy into the condo that she was selling? Let's talk about the brand. Have you sold into the brand that Coach Parson has laid out for you now this year?
Yeah, I definitely, I am definitely buying into the brand that she's trying to teach us. Last year, me being the oldest on the team, around the rest of my team being freshmen, it was hard for them to really understand what she was trying to tell us to do. And I was one of the people that already bought into what she was saying because I have more experience and I was more mature. So it wasn't as hard for me to buy into what she was saying, but everybody else was having a hard time with that. But this year, I see a lot of improvement and I see that the rest of my teammates are buying in. Like, it just makes everything easier for me and everybody else when playing. Like, I feel like everybody, all 18 of us, can contribute in different ways. When she subs out, the energy is not a drop off. It's staying up tempo, and yeah. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I feel like for me last year, I didn't really buy in as much as I am this year. Last year, coming out of high school, I didn't think I would have to change as much as I did. You know, Coach Parson, she pours into all of us, and we didn't really accept it last year. But I think this year coming in, we accepted all that she's given us. So it's making it easier to perform, and the buy-in is just really good with all of my teammates. I feel like everyone's buying in.
Well, Coach, it sounds like you got a couple of brand ambassadors there with you now for the upcoming season.
Finally, I told you a year ago I was tormented. So now we got some buy-in.
Of course, the Marauders joined the conference in 2015 and were tournament runners up in 17 and 18. How would you measure success coming into this year? I know obviously the answer is going to be we want to win it all, but I know there have to be some benchmarks along the way to winning it all for the Marauders of Central State.
I think our depth is definitely going to help us because the kind of defense I want to employ every night, I think we're capable of doing. I remember last year at times when we would play, I would have to come out of certain defenses because they're just not up to doing it tonight. And it's obvious, they're not going to do it for you. So I think now that we definitely have 18 players, I would say out of those 18, 15 could contribute, but you know you're going to get 11 to get after it. So when you look at those numbers, I feel like we're certainly going to have our style of play present most of the time. If we have some game slippage, we know that happens with human beings, but that's my job to snap them back into it and get back to work. So I believe the defensive side of the ball is definitely going to be a huge component for us, but we also have great execution when it comes to shooting. I'm a shooting expert, so I have an expectation that you're going to shoot the ball the way I said, with the rhythm that I said to employ. That's a work in progress. We're still working on that. I see tremendous improvement. Are we perfected in it? Not yet. I'll let you know where we are.
We'll keep an eye out for that for sure. Coach Parson, Lauren Ture, and Deshante Miller for the Marauders of Central State getting set for the 2022-23 basketball campaign. We will look for you all in the championship contest.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Marauders of Central State set for the campaign. Take a break here. It'll be the Thoroughbreds of Kentucky State joining us. And we'll talk more basketball in the SIAC on the Cricket Wireless Media Day.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. We're live on Facebook, and you can also catch us on the Black College Sports Network platform to get all the coverage of our Media Day as we preview the teams coming into the SIAC 2022-23 season. And we're joined now by the contingent from Kentucky State University, led by head coach Terrence Slater. And Coach, so good to see you again, as usual.
Absolutely. Good to be here.
And joined by Helani Cantone and Lori Thomas as student athletes on that Thoroughbreds basketball team. Helani, junior, averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds, had 54 assists and 31 steals last year. And Lori Thomas, the senior, averaged 12 points per ball game and over 7 rebounds per outing for Thoroughbreds of Kentucky State. Glad that you all are with us as well.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Coach, your Thoroughbreds last year, 9-15, got to the quarterfinals. Impressive run during the tournament last year. It was just exciting to watch you all perform last year. Lost in that quarterfinal ball game to the Tigers of Kentucky State. Let's talk about this upcoming season for the Thoroughbreds of Kentucky State. Off season, prepping for the campaign. What was the focus for you and the program?
I didn't think we were lacking a little bit in the interior, so wanted to kind of focus on that, just having a little bit more depth. So we went out and recruited some post players. So got a little bit more experience, and then I think last year's team wasn't as experienced. So I think them having to go through just the growing pains of just learning how to play at this level, especially coming out of COVID. So we hoping that experience helps us be successful this year.
Well, I know one thing that I've witnessed with you from the time we've known each other in your coaching career. I know character is a big thing with you, and we've seen that a lot as it relates to your players and their attitude toward the game, including sportsmanship. And how do you try to convey that type, probably non-tangible basketball element into your program and into your players?
The main thing, and they know even today, but I always talk about just not making excuses. Like we can, things sometimes happen, you have no control. Just be able to control what you control. So, the main thing I try to teach them is more so life lessons and how basketball and sports can, you can apply that to your regular life. So there's always going to be choices to make. So when you wake up, when God wakes you up, at that point, every decision that you make for that day is your choice. So you got to choose wisely, make sure that your preparation and the things that you do are for the betterment of you. And then as it relates to our team, is for the betterment of our team. So, generational is a little different, but, just trying to prep them for life is kind of what we talk about on a daily basis.
And Halani and Lori, you're coming into this campaign, one as a junior, one as a senior. What's the weight been like for you to start this year, knowing where you finished last year and great momentum coming out of that quarterfinal appearance? What's that weight been like for you in the off season up to the point now that you're almost ready to tip the basketball off?
He said, what is the weight like coming into this season with you basically on your way out? What does it mean to you? That's you. No, he asked that for you. You the senior.
I don't know.
It ain't really hit her yet, Charles.
Yep. I can understand. Yeah. Once the ball taps off, then maybe it'll start sinking in. But wanted to get an idea about the players' thoughts coming into this campaign. Any expectations based upon the kind of work that you put in the off season, that as an individual, what kind of contributions do you know that you have to make to this Thoroughbred team for the team to be successful?
Well, me personally, I took the time this summer to stay here on campus, have a job, and train with the coaches. For this being my last year, as far as contributions, continue to score it, continue to be a good teammate, and just be where they need me to be on the court.
And we'll put that to Laurie or as well, or is it Alani there to your left, right, Coach?
For me, for this year, I feel like I have to take more of a leadership role. Of course, I have to score the ball at will too, and also get my teammates going. So I also feel like we're more experienced this year, so I feel like that kind of takes the load off of me as well, and sharing it with LT and some of my other more experienced players.
And Coach, you're coming into this campaign, Thoroughbreds, 4 times runners up in the SIAC, and you get ready for a campaign. Well, last year you almost kind of pierced that veil of the teams that are typically at the top of the SIAC at the end of the year. You feel like you're able to, with that quarterfinal appearance last year, you were able to kind of gape open a hole there, and now the Thoroughbreds are in the legitimate conversation about contenders for the SIAC crown?
Yeah, I mean, our thing is just always, trying to get better day by day. I think, like I said, for us, it's just trying to be consistent, trying to get to the point to where you demanding and they're demanding the consistency of themselves every day. I think if we can be consistent, I think if they can get to a level of, what we talk about, not getting too high, not getting too low, just kind of staying in the middle. I think that helps us out tremendously. Like I said, and like Kalani and LT both said, just the experience of last year, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and even the last game we played against Tuskegee, just looking at that and the things that we did well and then the things that we didn't do well. So we talked to them about mental preparation and mentally being prepared for the moment, mentally coming into games in practice, ready to compete against each other. So I think if they can just get a little bit more consistent at that, I think that they will be fine. I think that we'll be fine. We do have some talent. So, I'm excited to see, kind of where we are at the end, but definitely the journey is going to be there. It's going to be a journey for us. So.
I know, and Alani, Lori, the same thing to you is that you heard Coach reference the fact that it's a grind, it's a long season, and the expectation is for you all to be contributors throughout the course of the campaign. How do you convey that to your teammates in terms of nothing really happens overnight? This is an unfolding process, if you will, game by game, day by day, until you get to the point of facing a championship ball game. What's it like trying to play that leadership role with some of the other players on the team?
It's interesting. It's also tough, but at the same time, we come from different areas, so we try to see where they come from individually.
Yeah, kind of what like LT said and my coach said, we're just trying to find a way to string our good days together and not be inconsistent. So trying to get everybody onto the same page has been interesting, but I feel like as the time goes on into the season and learning how to string those good days together.
You're getting ready to set for this campaign to contend for the SIAC title. Coach, do you all have a mantra or a theme for this year's team?
It's a resurrection team. That was what we themed it. And we talk a little bit about that, but we just talk about every time we step on the court has to have a purpose to it. So even if they come in the gym and they shooting on their own, it has to be purposeful. If you don't come in and do something with a purpose, then there's really no reason for you to be on the court. So, and just like I said, just conveying with them. And, I told them that I put them under so much pressure during the season that at the end of the season or during the tournament, they already been put through it. So that's why they're able to perform, towards the end. So, and that's something that I won't change. So they'll be, like I said, it'll be a journey for us, but, we're hoping that this is our resurrection team for sure.
Thoroughbreds, purpose this season, try to claim that SIAC title. Head coach Terrence Slater, Alani Cantone, and Laurie Thomas going to be a big part of that equation as to whether the Thoroughbreds can ride off into the sunset. Good luck this campaign. We'll see you in the championship ball.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thoroughbreds of Kentucky State getting set for the upcoming women's basketball season. Take a time out here. It'll be the Lady Dragons of Lane College, having a conversation with them about their thoughts of this year's season. That's just ahead on the Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Stay right with us.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loot machine.
We are back live with the SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day, sponsored by Cricket Wireless. Going to jump out of sequence here for just a moment. On screen, it'll be the head coach and two players from the Badgers of Spring Hill College. Understand that they have a little activity they have to get to this afternoon, so they have to hit the road. So we're going to pull them out of order. We'll come back with the Lady Dragons after we converse with head coach Karen McConaughey, head coach of the Badgers of Spring Hill. And she's joined by Nainit Pook and Taisha Bostic, players for the Badgers of Spring Hill as they get set for the 2022-23 season. Coach, 4-24 last year, first round loss in that first round of the tournament to Miles College. Let's talk about the offseason and what kind of preparations you have made for the Lady Badgers coming into this year's campaign.
First of all, I'll try to forget about last year, but anyway, we actually have done a total, we went and got 12 new players, so a total overhaul of our whole program. Last year was a hard year, but we went out, we recruited hard, and recruited kids that can come in and compete and love basketball, and so that's going to be a different change for us going into this new season.
In fact, won the Western Division title in 2018. And compared to what you talked about last year, certainly an off year for the Lady Badgers at Spring Hill. But I know the momentum is there now to try to right the ship, if you will, going into this year's campaign. And you got two players right here with you, with Nainit Pook and Taisha Bostic, that are going to play major roles in the Spring Hill attempt at the championship this year. And we'll start with the both of them, Nainit and Taisha. Your thoughts about coming into this year's campaign in terms of what your focus is as to how you can help Spring Hill spring its way to the championship.
For me personally, I'm very excited about what we have built this far. I think just coming in every day, working hard, being dedicated, being passionate about what we're trying to do, that's just gonna basically like get us where we need to go.
For me, I feel like it's going to be a new experience that we're all just going to all go through, and we just all been working hard. So I'm very excited.
I mean, you both have seen play here in the SIAC, great numbers for both of you. Taisha, 18 points per ball game, 5 rebounds, and really surpassed your career points with Spring Hill this past year. You know the level of competition within this conference. What does it take for a squad like Spring Hill to break through with some of these schools that most of the time when you're playing them, you're coming in as an underdog? What does it take to break through this level of competition in the SIAC?
In the SIAC, to break through the competition, I think you gotta play hard every night. You gotta come, you gotta bring it every night. You can't really have no lazy games. You can't really take any plays off. And you got to come after it defensively. So I think as we change our approach, we'll be okay.
For me, coming in as a transfer, I feel like we just have to play hard, just want it more than the other teams.
And as you come in, Naid, as a transfer into this program, I know your experience with this conference won't be there until you actually start playing. But what's the anticipation in terms of how you think you have got to play to make an impact for Spring Hill?
Me personally, just like being able to run up and down the court, just wanting it more and being mentally tough.
What was that transition like for you transferring into Spring Hill? We don't talk very much about that, but that's kind of a curve as well for student athletes who make that decision to transfer in. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I did 2 years at a JUCO, so coming in, it's different. it's more intense, I feel like. But it's something you just gotta adjust to.
And Coach, you've got, based upon your comments early on here, you made some assessments from last year and you went out to try to address those issues coming into this campaign. Got two of your players that with you here that are going to have impact for you this season. What are you going to be focusing on as this season unfolds that will give you an indication that, yeah, things are starting to finally click for the Lady Badgers?
It's definitely already starting to click. Like I said, we went out and got kids that love basketball, that wanted to come in every single day and get better. And so I'm already seeing that on a daily. And just to, the biggest thing is just getting our chemistry together because we are a young team. We're basically a new team. We're not the team from last year. We had a lot of injuries. Just a lot of things that plagued us last year. But I'm really grateful to where we are right now. We brought a bunch of kids in that want it. They love it. They talk about it all the time. They're in the gym. So I think we'll be a fun team to watch this year.
It sounds like that makes all the difference in the world. You can hear it in your voice that it's almost like a night and day thing, that you're so excited about what you have in front of you that it makes it easier to kind of forget about what transpired last year and you're looking at a new set of players.
Gotta have that short memory for last year.
Well, what we do wish you is the absolute best this coming season for you and the Lady Badgers as you contend for that SIAC title for the 2022-23 season. Best of luck. Safe travels to you all this afternoon.
Thank you.
Coach Kara McConico and a couple of players from Spring Hill as they get set for the 2022-23 season. Take a break here. More conversation from the Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Media Basketball Day after this time.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Back live at the 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day, sponsored by Cricket Wireless. And we're joined now by the Lady Dragons of Lane College. Middle of the screen, Serena Dixon, head coach for the Lady Dragons, flanked by Kyla Simmons and Jordan Neal, two student athletes for the Lady Dragons. Coach Dixon, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
Your second stint with the conference here from 2005, 2007. But here in your first year on your second push through, taking over a team that was 16-10 a year ago, a program that won the 2019 SIAC title. Your thoughts about coming into your inaugural season this year?
I'm very excited, first of all, to be back in the SIAC. Some of my greatest memories was back in 05 and 07 when I was here at Lane College. It's a very special place. And so I'm excited to be back. The program is soaring. Like you said, they won a championship in 2019. Just looking forward to coming back and trying to build on that and, take these young ladies back to that championship level.
Well, you have two students with you now. Kyla Simmons, a senior, and Jordan Neal, also a senior, that have been impact players for the Lady Dragons throughout their campaign there. I want to get their thoughts about this upcoming season as well for the Lady Dragons.
Okay, so I don't know. We got a new coach and just a new system. Like we just gotta stay focused, work hard every day. We're supposed to get better every day. So we have to adjust to the new system now, but it's possible. I could say like we're trying to adjust to her system and build a new culture here. You know, learning what she's trying to give us, embracing everything.
Oh, they're talking about the trigger point here, Coach, is new system, what you're trying to implement at Lane College. What are you trying to implement there?
We just trying to establish a culture of winning, working hard, grinding every day. It's a process. We have, 3 returners, starters, and we also have the 6th player coming back from this team. So we're excited about where this program is. And the young ladies are really grinding and working hard each day.
Well, team lost in the first round last year to the Golden Rams of Albany State, looking for a better result as you get ready to start the 2022-23 season for the Lady Dragons of Lane College. Coach Dixon, Kyla, Jordan, thanks so much for joining us today and best of luck in the campaign ahead.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Back live with the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. The Magicians of Lamont-Owens College, represented on the screen by head coach Anthony Partee, 8th year at the helm for Lamont-Owens, joined by Madison Riley and Jess Myers, 2 contributing players for the Lady Magicians as they get set for the campaign. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. And to the players, thank you for joining us as well.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, you all finished 13-14 last year. Got bumped in the first round of the SIAC to Fort Valley. Let's talk about this coming season for the Magicians. Always exciting to watch in terms of prepping your players for competition. One of the underrated programs and coaches in this conference, but you always seem to find a way to get your team into competition. Let's talk about this season coming up for you and the Lady Magicians.
I appreciate that. Each year is different. And so this year, we definitely want to try to build on what we did from last year. And so we have, experience coming back, and then we have some pieces coming in that I feel is going to allow us to take our talent and our game to the next level, so to speak. And so, I'm very excited about just the opportunity that's in front of us. I think we have the right mindset to kind of take it to that next level. But as it relates to preparation, it's all about us coming together and making sure that we're locking in each day. It's our goal to get better each day. It's our goal to make sure that we're pushing each other, holding each other accountable. And hopefully, you know, and a lot of times that kind of translates to what we do or what we look like on the court.
Now you have two players with you, Jess and Madison, who are obviously are impact players for the Magicians of the Morning. The chance for them to chime in just a bit here in terms of their preparation for the season as you look back perhaps on last year and what you thought as individuals you wanted to improve coming into this year's campaign. Any thoughts about that as individual players?
Yeah, I just feel like we need to improve on playing as a team. Last year, I feel like we didn't do that as well. And we have like Coach said, we have a lot of new pieces, new players coming in. And I feel like that they're going to help us with that, being able to play together as a team. And I feel like that's going to help us win a lot more games than last year.
I think the difference between this year and last year for us is being locked in. You know, our goal this year is become that defensive team. Defense win games and championships. I think that our biggest motto is being locked in. And Coach been preaching each and every day that what wins championships is rebounding. You out rebound one team, more than likely win the game. So that's how we're trying to lock in.
That's well stated. And Coach, your program, Lemoyne has won the title once before in 1994. You heard a couple, Jess and Madison, talking about some of the elements that are essential to success for this year's campaign. As a head coach, what are you viewing as those focus points that are going to allow the Magicians to hoist the trophy?
It's going to take commitment. I think not just from the coaches, but from the players, the management. I'm looking for everyone to be committed and dedicated this year. Not that we haven't been before in the past, but we got to up our game, so to speak, and we got to be able to be more committed and hold each other accountable a little bit better. And I think that'll allow us to accomplish some of the goals that we set forth. As you said, it's been a while since we've been able to hang a banner or talk about championship around here. And so that's definitely our aspiration. We want to be able to get in that conversation this year and not just be one of those teams that's very competitive, but we want to be one of those teams in the top of the league that is noticed for their winning on and off the court. So I don't know if that answered your question or not, but yeah.
Indeed it does. Goal and aspiration for the season is to crack the ice and win that SIAC title once again. Head coach Anthony Partee, Jess Myers, and Madison Riley, student athletes for the Magicians of Lemoyne College. We wish you the absolute best during this upcoming basketball campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Magicians of Lemoyne College getting set for this year's campaign. Take a break and back with more interviews on the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Stay with us.
Like a loop machine.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do.
Cricket Wireless Media Day rolls on as we get set to have a conversation now with the Miles College Lady Bears, coached by Pete Asman in his first year of the campaign. Uriah Slayton and Kadaria Ashley join us as we get set to talk Golden Bears basketball for the 2022-23 season. And Coach, first of all, congratulations being named head coach for the Golden Bears.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, you take over from Philip Wallace. Wallace been a staple there at Miles for such a long time and turned in some good quality basketball teams at Miles. I know part of the tradition is you want to continue that legacy with the Golden Bears. Let's talk a little bit about your transition into this head coaching job at your first year.
Yeah, like you said, Coach Wallace did a tremendous job with the young ladies prior to me taking over with leadership. I just want to continue that, implement some of my policies and my strategies and my plan for the team this upcoming year. Just want to prepare these young ladies to be great on and off the court, give them the best chance to win and make them the best players I can make them.
Well, you have two players with you now, Uriah and Tadaria, that are contributors for the Golden Bears of Miles College. We'd like to also get them into the conversation and have them make some thoughts or comments about transitioning from play under Coach Wallace and then into play under you and what their expectations are coming into this campaign.
For me, I would have to say Coach Wallace did really good, making us a winning team and all the things that he did for us. And I feel like Coach Pete does good as well. And I feel like all the new things that he's bringing in is going to help us eventually lead to a championship.
I'm a transfer, so I really didn't have the opportunity to Coach Wallace, but I heard good things about him, and I also believe Coach Pete is doing everything he can as well to lead us to a championship.
And Coach, you referenced the fact that, obviously you're taking over the program, but you wanted to try to do some things that you wanted to implement. What are some of the things that are going to make Miles look a little bit different than what we've seen in the past under your leadership?
Just some minor adjustments. I came pretty much groomed up under Coach Fred Watson, and we always were defense first team. The last 4 years, we had the #1 defense in the country on the guys' side. And I just want to implement some of those strategies and policies up under this women's team. Understand there's going to be a process, just teaching them all the things that they need to learn. But so far, they did a really good job. They've been working hard, pretty much trying to get everything implemented. And we're just going to continue on with the process until, they can get it to where they know pretty much they know it without having to think, and they can just react to it. And those are some of the things that we want to implement, just making sure that our defense is, solid pretty much every night. It give us a chance to win pretty much every night we step out on the floor.
Well, I'm curious to get your thought about whether you view this as a rebuilding year for the Golden Bears, or if it's a continuation of players that are there that just trying to get more continuity amongst the team under your leadership versus it being something completely new.
Well, my job is to pretty much make sure these young ladies are prepared to go out here and put the best product on the floor. Our focus is to win. So it's my job to make sure I'm putting everything in place to make sure that they have the best opportunity to do that. We respect the game, respect each and every opponent, so we will prepare as such. So I just want to make sure that we can go out here, put our best product on the floor, make sure they're prepared for each and every opponent and how they're going to do things. And the wins and losses will take care of themselves.
Indeed, they will. Head coach Pete Asman, Uriah Slayton, and Tadaria Ashley, part of the trio for the Golden Bears of Miles College. make an impact over in Birmingham this year, see if they can't get to and win the SIAC championship. Thanks so much for all of you for joining us this morning, and best of luck during the campaign.
Thank you.
Golden Bears of Miles College as they get set to start their 2022-23 basketball season. Take a break here, and then our final guest will be from Tuskegee on the Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day on Facebook and Black College Sports Network platform. Stay with us for more from here.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
And we are back for our final segment of the 2022-23 Cricket Wireless SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. And who better to finish this out with than the Tigers of Tuskegee University, one of the prolific teams in the SIAC, finished 22-5 last season and 15-3 in conference play, led by head coach Trelane Powell. And she's joined for our press conference with three of her star players, Shyla Jackson, Jatoria Willis, and Brittany Boland, joining us as well. Thanks to you all for joining us this morning. I think we're muted there. Okay.
All right. Yes.
Okay, we can take it from the top, Coach. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about this coming season. Semifinals last year, met the team that actually won it and that went on to win the championship a year ago. But just an impressive performance by your Tigers throughout the campaign from a year ago. What's the momentum coming into this season after finishing so strong last year?
The momentum is we didn't finish the job. Every year I feel like we've inched our way up. Sometimes we've taken a few steps backwards. So I think that the core group, the returners, have to be telling the new people how important it is for us to be able to get over the hump this year.
And again, you got three of your players that are the youngest is a sophomore and one's a senior, one's a grad student. And they know that these players are instrumental in your success. And I want to ask them what their thoughts were based upon the comments you made, Coach, about not coming up a little bit short of what you really wanted to do last year, and what kind of fire that put into their bellies coming into this campaign with just having coming up a bit short from a season ago? And either one of you can let's start in on that.
I feel like it put a huge fire under our bellies in order to get on the same page with everyone, incoming and returners, and just for us to get on the same page, know the goal that we're striving for and committing to it and getting over that hump.
I know for me that we all felt the disappointment because we all knew that we had the talent to strive to the highest level that we knew we could be. But going into this year, we know that we still have that talent plus more with the depth that we have. So we're still working on fixing the little stuff to add on to what we have and to really get to the highest level that we know that we can be at.
Last year we had a pretty good team, and we thought that we were going to do what we needed to do. And this year I feel like we have a better team. We have a lot of talent added. So adding that talent, we plan to go far this year.
And Coach, I've witnessed it from the time that you've been here at Tuskegee. You just brought a new attitude and a new swagger, if you will, for the Tuskegee program, which is a very good thing for them in terms of how the results are manifesting themselves. And as you look at coming into this new campaign, is it premised more on the personnel that you have now that you just kind of transitioning into a new season, or do you have other players that are outside the nucleus of the players that you talked about here that are going to be impact players for you coming up?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a mixture. Again, our core has to welcome and invite them in to be a part of what we have going on. We definitely want to push the envelope. Again, these girls here are core. They know what to expect, and it's on them every day to push the new players in practice so that they understand what's ahead of them.
And to the players, again, as you start this campaign, it's a long season, no question about that. But as you start the campaign, what's going to give you that feeling inside that, yeah, we are where we want to be, or I think we're hitting a stride that we really feel comfortable with, and we know we're in the right direction?
Personally, I feel like we are still in a position where we're meshing with each other, as far as, even though there is 6 new players on our team, they're still trying to learn how our flow of our game goes. And like Coach said, we are, as returners, still trying to welcome them in and get them going with where we know that we could be. But my fire is to know that we have the talent to get there. We just got to get there. So we're slowly taking a step every day to become the team that we know that we could be.
And with Brittany saying, we've had the talent every year and we've come up short. So my biggest thing this year, I wanted these kids to know it's on you. It's internal. It's not that we don't have the talent. It's not that we don't have the coaches. It is internal, and it's on us to make a decision. We want to get out of our own way, and we want to play basketball.
And you just referenced what I definitely want to get this in before we break here. You mentioned that it is obviously on the players, but you all are trying to pour into them as well. And part of your coaching staff that's going to allow you to do it is your newest addition to your staff. You want to talk a little bit about who you've added in terms of that in the off season?
Yes. So our new assistant is Ashley Brunner. She's played at the highest level, college basketball, played in the SEC for Don Staley. So she was a former post player herself, played 8 years professionally. So she's bringing a lot to our post players. It's a little new this year because I formerly coached our post players, and Coach White previously had the guards. So I'm getting a little break this year. We do have another assistant who's actually taking on those guards also, Coach Aisha Walker, who actually was Coach Brunner's teammate at South Carolina. So yeah, we have the staff, we have the people who are here pouring into these girls, like you said. And so we're just trying to pull everything that we can out of them, just like I heard a bunch of coaches mention before, like Coach Parsons from Central State. Again, it's on them to be able to put the product out on the floor.
Well, you got 3 of your main players, Ashaila, Jatoria, and Brittany, right beside you, going to help try to push the envelope further for Tuskegee. And I know you, Coach Powell, from the sideline, you'll be trying to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Good luck this campaign, and we'll hope to see you in the championship ball game this season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tuskegee University, Trelane Powell, and 3 of her outstanding players getting set for this year's campaign. And that will do it for our coverage of the Cricket Wireless 2022-23 SIAC Women's Basketball Media Day. Glad you could join us today from our Facebook Live feed, or if you were watching on the Black College Sports Network platform of opportunities to watch it as well. We're actually back here tomorrow with men's coverage of the SIAC, the media day for the men, sponsored by Cricket Wireless. Again, hope you'll make your plans to join us here tomorrow at a 10 p.m. a.m. Eastern start for the men's SIAC media day sponsored by Cricket Wireless. Until then, on behalf of producer Roy Evans and everybody in the SIAC office, this is Charles Ward saying thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow for the SIAC Media Day.